Have you seen this wacky time travel adventure starring Keanu Reeves? I'm Mint Salad and I saw Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. It is directed by Stephen Herrick, written by Ed Solomon and Chris Matheson. If you haven't seen this movie, I will spoil it for you. This is requested by Patreon. If you'd like to fast track a movie review, patreon.com/ASEPresents, on with the review. In the future, there's this utopian society where there's two figureheads idolized, Bill and Ted. Their music changed society to the point where even several centuries above where Bill and Ted stand now, which is 1989, several centuries in the 27th century, they still love Bill and Ted. However, they have to go time travel back in time to where Bill and Ted are in high school, being terrible history students, and they have to help them get a passing grade on the history exam. The entire premise of the movie, we have Bill and Ted. They're kind of goofballs. They're not taking life seriously. They're flunking. They also have a knack for making the air guitar go every time that they do the sound comes out. They do it all the time in this movie. And there's this phone booth that has the ability to travel time. And before Bill and Ted go into this phone booth, another phone booth appears with future versions of themselves saying, "You should go on this adventure." And then they leave. And it's like, all right, cool, let's go. They don't believe it's a time travel machine until they go back in time. And then they're like, okay, I think we need these figures from history. We're getting tested on random figures like Napoleon, Beethoven, Isaac Newton, other figures. Look, I didn't do good in history class, okay? I was not good. I don't know how I passed history. I don't even know any names at all or any dates of any sort. I don't even know when the wars happened. Ask me a question about the war. When did World War happen? When did the First World War happen? I don't know, like 2002? They go back in time. They get so many people, and I mean so many historical figures. What's really fun is that they have the gimmick of he needs to set the time. They forget to set the time, and so they just keep going and going to grab people. Ba-toom. Or just keep on grabbing people. And then, all right, it looks like we're caught up to the present now. Oh, we'll only have 2 hours left? Oh. I guess we have time to grab more people. And it's a race to the finish line, right? If Ted doesn't pass this history exam, he's going to be sent to military school, breaking up Bill and Ted's whole band and making it so the future can't happen. And this can't happen. They're the last performance. Luckily, they get there at the last literally minute. They're announcing, okay, looks like we're done. No, we're not done. And then Bill and Ted come in, and they have all of the historical figures. And this makes it so their awesome performance makes it so their grades are saved. And I was watching this, I was like, man, this is a wacky adventure. I even like the part where it's obviously convoluted. It's obviously written so you don't have to do anything else. You don't have to do any extra thinking. The part where they're like, oh man, we messed something up. How do we fix this? Oh, you know what? I'll make it so I go back in time and make it so I get that thing. And it seems like I already did that, so I'll have it now. And then they just have it now. It's like, okay. It's a little convoluted, but it really fits with the silliness of this movie. I overall enjoyed it. I enjoyed the silliness. It's definitely like a fantasy for sure, especially in school. I was like, man, I wish I could just be there, experience what's happening in the history so I can intimately understand what's going on and explain it to people. The problem with being taught things like history, especially from bad teachers who don't even try to make it fun for you, is just, it feels like it's memorizing a bunch of facts and figures and names that you don't really have any connection to. That's my problem with history. I think, oh, who is this person? Okay, but why should I know them? Oh, they did a thing that's important? Okay, but all right. Neat. versus how the world actually works, how complex it is. Like, one person is responsible for influencing another person, and that person becomes influential, and then another person in the future is influenced based off of that person. But the history books never, ever say something like that. They never share the lineage of influence. They just say, oh, well, this person here did this thing, and this person here did this thing. And I'm like, but why? Now, if you were to phrase it, say, Thomas Edison stole a bunch of Tesla's inventions and did it for himself, took all of the inventions and marketed it under his name. Now that's something I remember because it pertains to one guy screwing over another guy in history, which is why I also remember the McDonald's story as well. The guy who took over McDonald's, the corporation, screwed McDonald's brothers over hardcore. But no history books are like that ever. It's just like, oh, yeah, the British, they fought the Americans. Americans dumped some tea into the harbor. Okay. They were mad about taxes. I'm like, okay, cool. Versus explaining it in a more exciting way, like, the British were going in, kicking people's houses in. Bah! I want your house. And the Americans were like, no, we're not doing that. And they fought back against a huge, large navy. That's more interesting. Man, history classes really suck. This movie made me think about all of my terrible history class experiences. It made me really want to go back in time and meet everybody because they were people and get inspired by them. I overall enjoyed this film. This movie is very heavily saturated. There is not really a specific color palette, but I do like the outfits that Bill and Ted wear. Very era specific. Keanu Reeves is in this too. He's really young. This must have been like one of his first roles because he has the baby face and everything. His jawline is even there. There wasn't a ton of conflict, but whenever there was conflict, it's a little bit less saturated, but overall, it's a pretty fun movie. It's enjoyable. Have you seen this film? Let me know what you think of this movie when you saw it. If you'd watch it, I would recommend it. If you want to sit on your butt on a Saturday afternoon, just have a good old time, not have to think about anything, and just be like, oh, that's Keanu Reeves when he was younger. Oh, that's cool. Oh man, I wish I could get all of the historical figures and round them up and bring them to the present day and have no consequences, by the way. There's absolutely no consequence for their behavior. It's pretty awesome. It's just a fun time. I would recommend this. It's a solid 7. It's a 7.3 out of 10. If you like this review, watch another on the platform you like. That's if I haven't reviewed on a channel, there's a chance I haven't seen it all. So get them Patreon requested at patreon.com/ASEPresents. 1 month review per 1 month. Also support the daily grind by going to itsmintsalad.com. So I can go here. And until next time, mint salad. So I'll see you later, my sad croutons and bacon bits. Now, if you excuse me, I'm gonna go find a time machine. And I'm gonna go look at Beethoven. And I'm gonna poke him. Goodbye. Or maybe Picasso. Ooh, you know what? What would be cool with Picasso? I can see why his art looks so realistic when he's such a youngin', and then see what he's like as an oldin'. Why is his stuff so abstract? That's what I'll do.